Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachariya. Yamuna Tira Vanachariya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachariya. Yamuna Tira Vanachariya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gaur Premanandi Haribo Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'm going to read from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 1. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Idam tu te guhyatamam Pravakshyami anasuyave Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam Yagyatva Mokshase Shubhat. Very good, very good. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence." Purport. As a devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord, he becomes enlightened. This hearing process is recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The messages of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are full of potencies, and these potencies can be realized if topics regarding the Supreme Godhead are discussed amongst devotees. This cannot be achieved by the association of mental speculators or academic scholars, for it is realized knowledge. The devotees are constantly engaged in the Supreme Lord's service. The Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who is engaged in Krishna consciousness, and gives him the intelligence to understand the science of Krishna in the association of devotees. Discussion of Krishna is very potent, and if a fortunate person has such association and tries to assimilate the knowledge, then he will surely make advancement towards spiritual realization. Lord Krishna, in order to encourage Arjuna to higher and higher elevation in his potent service, describes in this 9th chapter matters more confidential than any he has already disclosed. This first verse has specific significance. The words idam jnanam, this knowledge, refer to pure devotional service, which consists of 9 different activities: hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, obeying, maintaining friendship, and surrendering everything. By the practice of these 9 elements of devotional service, one is elevated to spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. When one's heart is thus cleared of material contamination, one can understand the science of Krishna. Simply to understand that the living entity is not material is not sufficient. That may be the beginning of spiritual realization, but one should recognize the difference between activities of the body and the spiritual activities of one who understands that he is not the body. In the 7th chapter, we have already discussed the opulent potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his different energies, the inferior and superior natures, and all this material manifestation. Now in chapter 9, the glories of the Lord will be delineated. The Sanskrit word anasuyave in this verse is also very significant. Generally, the commentators, even if they are highly scholarly, are all envious of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the most erudite scholars write on Bhagavad Gita very inaccurately. Because they are envious of Krishna, their commentaries are useless. The commentaries given by devotees of the Lord are bona fide. No one can explain Bhagavad Gita or give perfect knowledge of Krishna if he is envious. One who criticizes the character of Krishna without knowing him is a fool. So such commentaries should be very carefully avoided. For one who understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the pure and transcendental personality, this chapter will be very beneficial. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, very important instruction Lord Krishna is giving here to Arjuna. That first thing is that because Arjuna is not envious of Krishna, he will impart to him that knowledge, most confidential knowledge and realization. So this is very important qualification, not to be envious. And why Srila Prabhupada said that most commentators are envious of Krishna is that not like, so to say, too much generalization. Because if a commentator of Bhagavad Gita is not a devotee of the Lord, is not a lover of God, then surely he will misunderstand Krishna. Because unless you love him, how can you understand him? It's not by intellectual effort or gymnastic speculation that one will be able to understand God. Only by his mercy one can understand him. There is no other way. Once I was giving a lecture in Mexico City, and I was explaining that we are limited and God is unlimited. And one man said that, all right, I understand that we are limited and God is unlimited. Then why we are here wasting our time? I said, why do you say so? Because if he's unlimited, how can we understand him? And if we could understand him, then he stopped being unlimited. I told him, you have some logic in what you're saying, yes, but I will give you another logic. Yes, we are limited, he's unlimited. But if he, out of his free will, wants to reveal himself to those who are limited, if he can't do that, then he also stopped being unlimited. Understand the logic? His logic is that if we can understand God, then he stopped being unlimited. He's not unlimited anymore. And the logic I gave him, if he, being unlimited, can't reveal himself to those who are limited, then he also stopped being unlimited. It's not by our own effort, by his own mercy, causeless mercy. What causeless mercy means we don't deserve it, still we receive it. The only thing, important thing, is not to be envious of Krishna. I will give you an example of one commentator who is envious of Krishna. For example, in chapter 18, text 66, Krishna says there very clearly, what he says there? 1866. Sarva dharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha vishyami masucha. Abandon all variety of religion, just surrender unto me. Do not fear, I will protect you from all your past activities. Isn't it? So this commentator, he writes his commentary, no, we should not surrender to Krishna. One moment, Krishna says surrender to me. But he's saying, no, we should not surrender to Krishna. And to justify his rebellious attitude, he says, no, we have to surrender to the unborn inside of Krishna. What do you understand by that? Oh, sounds very interesting, no? Flowery maybe. But no, is an offense against Krishna. Why? Because he's making a difference between the interior and the exterior of Krishna. What he's saying in few words, that Krishna's body is material and his soul is different from his body. Like he's like a human being, ordinary human being. That's what he's saying. But because people are innocent or ignorant, they don't detect these subtleties, in word jugglery. And these people, they themselves are misled, and they mislead others too in understanding Bhagavad Gita. If you want to preach your own philosophy, why write Bhagavad Gita? Write your own book. Why use Krishna's book to speculate? You want to speculate, it's up to you. But don't misuse Krishna's words to justify them. That's the problem. That's the problem. When Prabhupada came to America, one lady approached him and asked him, which version of Bhagavad Gita do you recommend for me to read? And at that time there were around 70 different versions. And Prabhupada said, I'm sorry to tell you, I can't recommend any of them. Wait until I write my Bhagavad Gita as it is. Because with all these different versions, no, not a single person by reading them became a devotee of Krishna. None of them. But when Krishna Prabhupada wrote his Bhagavad Gita as it is, just by reading it, so many people became devotees of Krishna. That's the potency of a pure devotee of the Lord, who is not envious of the Lord, who wants to serve the Lord and glorify the Lord, not challenge his authority with word jugglery and all these things. So what is the result of being non-envious and receiving this most confidential knowledge from Krishna, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence? Who doesn't want to be relieved of the suffering of material existence? Who doesn't want? Who wants to be relieved of material? Okay, so here is the secret how to be relieved of the material miseries of existence. And that is to be non-envious and with open heart to receive the confidential knowledge that Krishna and Prabhupada is giving us through the pages of Bhagavad Gita. As simple as that. It's not complicated at all. Mm-hmm. When Lord Chaitanya was traveling in South India, he saw one Brahmin devotee reading Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit. But he was mispronouncing every 2 words. So a group of other Brahmanas were laughing at him. But he noticed, Lord Chaitanya, that this devotee had emotion. He was crying and he was chanting the shlokas with feeling. So he approached him and asked him what he was trying to do. And he said, "Oh, my guru instructed me that I shall read a chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day. Although I don't know how to pronounce correctly the Sanskrit, but still I'm trying. But I see tears in your eyes. Why you're crying? Is because the other Brahmins are laughing at you?" "No, not because I don't. They are right to laugh at me. I am illiterate. I'm not a scholar or anything." "Then why you're crying?" "Because as soon as I start reading Bhagavad Gita, this image come to my mind. How Krishna, out of love of his devotee Arjuna, he became his sarati, his charioteer. To see that scene in my mind, how out of love the Lord himself is serving his own servant, his own devotee, that makes me very emotional. I can't help it but cry out of love for appreciation for Krishna." Then Lord Chaitanya embraced him and told him, "You really understood Bhagavad Gita. You truly understood Bhagavad Gita. That's the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti, the loving devotion, the loving service between Krishna and his devotees." Krishna says, "I'm impartial, I'm equal to everyone. But those who come to me to serve me, I accept them as a friend, and I am a friend to them." Unless we become friends of Krishna, we cannot understand Krishna. We cannot receive his mercy. We have to have a friendship attitude toward Krishna. He's already our best friend because he's sitting on our heart, guiding us in our material existence, giving us the best advice. Most of the time we don't even hear it. So that's why Krishna speaks openly Bhagavad Gita, so Paramatma, everybody can hear Paramatma. I saw once in caricature, one man on his knees, "Please God, talk to me." And between the clouds open up and hand open, gave the Bhagavad Gita. Received the Bhagavad Gita. Have you seen that caricature? Very nice preaching. I'll tell you one story, a real life story. some few years ago, devotees were in a book fair, and they have Bhagavad Gita, many other books. And one man with his family, wife and children, came to see the books at the table. And as soon as he saw the Bhagavad Gita, and he opened the book, and he saw Bhagavad Gita as it is, and he opened the book, and he started looking at the paintings, at the pictures, and when he saw Prabhupada's picture, he became very excited. And he told his wife, see, this is the man who appeared 3 nights consecutively in my dreams and telling me, buy my Bhagavad Gita as it is, for 3 consequential nights. And the man bought 10 Bhagavad Gitas to give to his friend and relatives. So just see, huh? Another recent story I heard, very nice story. It happened in Ukraine. One devotee was selling books, and he knocked on somebody's home. One lady came out, and he offered the book to her. She said, yes, I'm interested in the book, please come in. So he came in the house, and she told him, please wait here, I'm going to get the money to buy the books. And he noticed in the house a big life-size painting of Lord Jesus. A nice, beautiful painting. So he stopped looking, admiring at the... When she came back, she told him, oh, do you like this painting? Yes, very much. It's very nice, you know. We also love Jesus, he said. She said, oh, that's very good. Let me tell you something. You may not believe it, but 3 days ago I had a dream, and Lord Jesus told me in the dream, I advise you to become vegetarian. And in 3 days, one meg will knock at your door offering you books. You must buy all of them. A real life story happened recently, in Ukraine. So it's good to know Jesus on our side, you know. Isn't? Give us some confidence that we're doing the right thing. Because most of the time, devotees are asked, no, you're going to hell, you know. You're worshiping a false god or whatever. Only Jesus saves. Well, follow what Jesus say. Does it? Anyway, today we are celebrating Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami Disappearance Day. Would you like to hear something about him? Okay. I will read and comment something about him. Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami was the son of Venkata Bhatta, a resident of Sri Rangam, that's in South India. Gopal Bhatta formerly belonged to the disciplic succession of the Ramanuja Sampradaya, but later he became part of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. In the year, Christian era, 1511, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was touring South India, he stayed for 4 months during the period of Chaturmasya. You know Chaturmasya. We are now in Chaturmasya. In India is the rainy season. So there's traveling sannyasis and saints, sadhus. They stop in one place and stay for 4 months. So Lord Chaitanya stayed at the house of Venkata Bhatta, the father of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. At that time, Gopal Bhatta was a teenager. At that time. Who then got the opportunity to serve the Lord to his heart content. Gopal Bhatta also got the opportunity to serve the Lord at this time. Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami was later initiated by his uncle, the great sannyasi Prabodhananda Saraswati. Both father and mother of Gopal Bhatta Goswami are extremely fortunate, for they dedicated their entire lives to the service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They allowed Gopal Bhatta Goswami to go to Vrindavan, and they gave up their lives thinking of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Lord Chaitanya was later informed that Gopal Bhatta Goswami had gone to Vrindavan and met Sri Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, he was very pleased. And he advised Sri Rupa and Sanatan to accept Gopal Bhatta Goswami as their younger brother and take care of him. Sri Sanatan Goswami, out of his great affection for Gopal Bhatta Goswami, compiled the Vaishnava Smriti named Hari Bhakti Vilas and published it under his name. Under the instruction of Srila Rupa and Sanatan, Gopal Bhatta Goswami installed one of the 7 principal deities of Vrindavan, the Radha Raman deity. The Sevaites of the Radha Raman temple belong to the Gaudiya Sampradaya. Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami compiled a book called Satkriya Saradipika, edited the Hari Bhakti Vilas, wrote a foreword to the Sat Sandarbha, and a commentary on the Krishna Karnamrita, and installed the Radha Raman deity in Vrindavan. In the Gaura Ganodesh Dipika, 184, it is mentioned that his previous name in the pastimes of Lord Krishna was Ananga Manjari. Sometime he is also said to have been an incarnation of Guna Manjari. Srinivasacharya and Gopinath Pujari were 2 of his disciples. Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami ki jai. Now, let me tell you one thing about Gopal Bhatta Goswami, how he got the Radha Raman deity. This is not a carved deity, it's self-manifested deity. And how that happened is that Gopal Bhatta Goswami made a pilgrimage to Nepal, the Himalayas, the part of Nepal, a river called Mandaki. In that river, you may find many holy stones called the Shalagram Shila, who are the Lord himself, don't need installation, they are already installed. So he was taking his bath in that river when he was using a lota, a container to bathe, and 12 of those stones jumped by their own will inside his lota. So he put them back in the river, and they jumped back again. That went on a few times, so he finally surrendered. Okay, my Lord, you want to come with me in this form to Vrindavan? Okay, let's go. So he was worshipping the 12 Shilas, but one day, in the day of the appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev, he was praying to the Lord that, my dear Lord, the same way you appeared from a pillar to protect your devotee Prahlad, the same way please appear from one of these Shalagram Shilas in your beautiful form as Krishna, so I can trace you and worship you more personally. So he was crying and praying to the Lord for his mercy, and at midnight he fell asleep. When he woke up, one of the Shila self-manifested itself as the Radha Raman deity. Have you seen the picture at least? Or who visited the temple? It's a self-carved deity. And they have made studies. There is no trace of any human intervention in making the deities. Scientifically proven. Yes. That's true. Yeah. And not always he shows his teeth. Sometime he does, sometime not. I've seen a picture taken of him. Sometimes there is teeth, sometimes you can't see the teeth. So when he wants to show them. Anyway, so imagine one of the Shila called Damodar Shila, was a big Shila, opened up and the Lord carved himself. As simple as that. With 2 armed 4 playing the flute. In his form Tribhanga. Tribhanga means curved in 3 places. Tri means 3, and Bhanga means curved. The Lord has 3 curves when he's standing in his classical pose, playing the flute. One is in the neck, one is in his waist, and one is in knee, curved, 3 curves. Now, Vishnu, Narayan is standing straight. He may come into your heart and goes out of your heart. But if Krishna comes into your heart, he gets stuck there. He doesn't come out. He's there for good. So anyway, so all the Goswamis came to see the deity, Rupa Sanatan Goswami, all the Sevaites came and all were delighted by the beauty of Radharaman. It's like this size, more or less, not big size. So when Sanatan Goswami saw the beautiful form of Radharaman, he said, "Oh, he has the same beautiful feet of my Madan Mohan." And when what is the name of the Pujari of Gopinath? Madhu Pandit, thank you. Madhu Pandit also, when he saw the deity, he saw, has such an ample, big chest, like what do you call the wrestler, like a wrestler, big, thin waist and big chest. And Rupa Goswami, when he saw his face, he has a beautiful round moon-like face like my Govindaji. So then Gopal Bhatta Goswami understood that the Lord pleased his desire, because he used to visit these 3 temples, Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath. And he, in his heart, wanted to have a deity like them. So the Lord pleased his desire by appearing in the form of Radharama. When Krishna's great-grandson, Vajranath, he was given all the land of Braja by the king Janamejaya. Janamejaya was the son of Parikshit Maharaj. So Vajranath, he brought villagers from around the areas and populated again Braja Mandala and started establishing temples. And so he asked Vishwakarma, the architect of the demigod, to make deities of Krishna. So the last 2 persons on the planet who have seen Krishna personally, eye to eye, were very old, and they were Uttara, the mother of Maharaj Parikshit, and Uddhava, Krishna's cousin. So he consulted with them how to make these deities. So the 3 deities were made, Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath. So he brought them and showed them the deities and asked their opinion. They were very pleased. They're exactly like Krishna. But please tell me, which one of them resembled more Krishna? So they said, Madan Mohan is exactly like Krishna from the feet to the waist. And Gopinath from the waist to the chest, to the neck. And Govindaji, the same round moon-like face like Krishna. So Krishna appeared in 3 deities. It is said by the Vaishnavas, if you visit these 3 temples, 3 deities, the same day you have seen Krishna. It's the same as having seen Krishna. But you don't need to go to all this trouble, take taxis, going to what is called the city of Jaipur. But then you can't, from Jaipur you have to go first to Karoli. Madan Mohan is in Karoli. Then go to Jaipur. Then you can see there Govinda and Gopinath. I did that once. I have to hurry up, from Vrindavan, Anyway, but you don't have to do that anymore. If you know the story, then you have just to go to Radharaman. Business done. Anyway, and do you know how the deity of Madan Mohan went from Jaipur to Karoli? Any idea? You'd like to hear the story also? Okay, let me tell you that. First, the reason that all the deities of Vrindavan went to Jaipur is because of fear of the attack of the fanatical Muslim rulers. They were destroying temples and creating a lot of problems. That was Aurangzeb, was very envious of the Hindu religion, Vaishnava religion. Anyway, so Maharaj Jai Singh was the ruler of Jaipur, and his daughter, the princess, married the prince of Karoli. And she was going to move from Jaipur to Karoli. And she was crying, she was very sad. So the father asked her the reason, and she said, because Madam Mohan is staying here and I am going there. Meaning she was very attached to this form of the Lord, this beautiful form of Madam Mohan. And her father told her, well, I'm also very attached to Madam Mohan. Will not be easy for you to take him with you. I will put you to test. If you pass the test, he can go with you. And the test is, I'm going to put the three deities, Madam Mohan, Govinda, Gopinath, in a dark, totally, completely dark room. If by touching them you can guess who's Madam Mohan, he will go with you. Otherwise, not. Men will be there with torch, and as soon as she say, this is the one, they will put the torch on, they will see if it was right or wrong. So the poor princess was crying to Krishna, please Krishna, Madam Mohan, please help me, I want you to be with me, you know. And she went to sleep crying like that. And she had a dream. Madam Mohan in the dream told her, I am pleased with you, I want to go with you. I want to help you. So tomorrow when you enter the dark room, when you're touching the deities, I will break my flute so you will recognize me easily. The first time I went to Karoli, I saw they put a broken flute on Krishna's hand. Maybe I should buy him a new flute, you know. When I went to ask about buying new flutes, the Pujari was laughing. No, this is Lila. So pastime. Anyway, so so that way, Madam Mohan shift to Karoli. And then the princess had her house, his palace, in front of the temple room. From the balcony of her house, she could see the first darshan of the Lord. Oh, she's a great devotee, you know, for Madam Mohan to do this, you know, to go with her. That's love, you know. That's every one of us has an eternal loving relationship with God, with Krishna. We just have forgotten that. If we purify our mind and heart and develop the attachment, the attraction to love and serve Krishna, that is the best use of our human form of life. We should try to do that. So now, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he was sometime feeling guilty because he promised his parent that he will serve and worship Lord Chaitanya. And he thought, I'm not doing that, I'm worshiping Radharaman. But one day, while he was worshiping Radharaman, Radharaman showed him the face of Lord Chaitanya, meaning he was not different from Lord Chaitanya. He saw Lord Chaitanya's face in Radharaman. So he understood that the Lord is pleased with me. When Lord Chaitanya visited South India, Srirangam, and Gopal Bhatta was a young man, he was serving the Lord, his prasad and tending to him. And he was feeling that, I missed the opportunity to see Lord Chaitanya's pastime in Navadvip when he started the Sankirtan movement. I missed all that. But one night, Lord Chaitanya appeared to him and showed all the Navadvip Leelas. He could see all of them in a single dream. It was more than a dream, it was a revelation. So the verse we just read, what does it say? Speaks something about realization. So it's not enough just to know that we are not this body, but a spirit soul. We have to experience it by knowledge and realization. So Krishna is promising Arjuna, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization. After Lord Chaitanya instructed Sanatana Goswami in the transcendental knowledge of Krishna consciousness, Sanatana Goswami prayed to the Lord, please allow this knowledge to be revealed in my heart, to have a revelation, you know. When the revelation is there, then conviction is full. We should not accept something unless we understand it. If we don't understand, we should keep hearing and also asking questions. Doubt means intelligence. You don't have to accept things blindly. If you don't understand something, don't keep it. Ask the proper person who can give you a good answer. Have something with more experience. And when you understand it, then you accept. And when you accept, you have conviction. And when you have conviction, you want to know more. You pay more attention. Isn't it? In that way, the heart starts becoming more and more clean. When we pay full attention, the cleansing process becomes faster. So anything we do, we should do it with concentration. Especially spiritual activities require full concentration. But in order to do the concentration, we have to be convinced that this is the real thing, this is what we need, this is what we want. Then we can do it. So now I'm going to ask you if you please have any question or doubt or comment, please do. And there is Jamal with the mic to assist you. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much. I just had a question about the verse. I was just hoping that maybe you could help us understand part of the verse in a different way, because it talks about someone who's not envious of Krishna. And obviously we can maybe confide in the idea that Prabhupada wasn't envious, and many other extremely exalted devotees weren't envious of Krishna.
Yes.
But yes, at the same time, they were experiencing these miseries of material existence in some way or another. They became ill, became sick, or they've suffered through so many different things. So how can you help us understand this?
Okay, it's a good question. Because the verse says that by being non-envious, I will impart to you this knowledge, and by imparting you this knowledge, you will be free from the miseries of material existence. You will be relieved. Doesn't say disappearing completely. It says relieved. At one means to be relieved of the miseries of material existence, meaning you have a spiritual shelter. Understand? And also, a self-realized soul doesn't mean he doesn't have to suffer with being sick or something like that. No. What happened is that he hardly feels the pain of his body, because his consciousness is absorbed in the Lord. Of course he feel it. It's not made of stone, but doesn't feel it like a materialistic man will feel it. He will feel the suffering much, much less. So he's relieved by the Lord from the misery of material existence. I had one experience when I was a new devotee, practically speaking. I was practicing yoga and everything, but then I was attracted to Bhakti yoga. You know? So I told you the story that when I entered the temple for first time, I asked the devotees how God looks like, and they showed me beautiful life-size painting, but almost life-size painting, of Radha and Krishna, beautiful painting. So I became very attached to this painting because the first picture I've seen of Krishna. And one day I have to go to the dentist, and the dentist didn't have what you call
Lidocaine.
Novocaine. And at that time, maybe they have different names, I don't know. Wasn't the 70s. Anyway, so he told me, please come other day. I told him, no, I came very far away. I can't come back another day. But he said, you will feel the pain. I said, doesn't matter, do it. So if it's too much, I will stop you. If I can't tolerate, I will stop. Okay, let's try. And I just concentrated my mind in that picture of Radha and Krishna. I told him, let me do some little meditation, and concentrated my mind in that picture and didn't take my mind out of that picture. And he started, and when he finished, I told him, did you finish? He said, you was jumping in the chair, but you didn't stop me. I said, well, I mean, I didn't feel much the pain. I was making my meditation. So I understood that even if your body is suffering, but your mind is fixed, on Krishna, you will not feel the same pain as somebody who's in the bodily consciousness. And I understand that Krishna gave me this little drop of spiritual realization to increase my faith, to help me become more devoted to Krishna. Then I understand better your question, because I had some experience of that.
Thank you.
Even when Prabhupada was in his deathbed, he was translating Srimad Bhagavatam. I mean, he was commenting and translating Sanskrit, and I mean, the doctor said any ordinary man in his situation will be yelling out of pain, will be crying out of pain. And Prabhupada wasn't taking painkillers or anything like that. He wasn't taking any painkillers. So that means will not feel the same, although the pain is there. Nothing is denying there is, but Krishna said it is relieved. There is relief. So Krishna consciousness is a relief program. Yes. Please hand Mataji the mic. Yeah, well, so everybody else can hear you. Thank you for your patience. Yes.
Hello. Sometimes due to sinful reaction or not the disciples not following,
Yes.
the spiritual master, something can come to him. And also it's said, Prabhupada would say that, also depending on the transparency, purity of the spiritual master, can just go right up to Krishna.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for your class.
Yeah, thank you. That's also correct. Once there's Bob Cohen, he asked Prabhupada, do you get sick because of your past karma? And Prabhupada said, yes. My bad karma is that I have accepted some rascal disciples.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu,
Hare.
it's so wonderful to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The question I have, Prabhu, is if sometimes you are unable to bear pain, then what can one do? Can just one hide in Krishna and just take refuge in him? Or what else can one do?
If one can't what?
Bear one's pain sometimes. Physical
Tolerate pain.
Physical pain.
If you can't tolerate the pain, take a painkiller.
No, Prabhu.
We are
I don't-
practical people, We can't imitate
Maharaj.
pure devotees. I mean, it's good to follow their example, but you should not suffer just to suffer,
No, No, Prabhu. It's no, Swamiji. It's
No,
not.
no.
It's not. It's not. The painkillers here can affect the mind.
That's
And
true.
therefore, if you don't, you want to keep your mind clear.
Okay.
What else can you do?
Then just chant Hare Krishna.
Can you chant within yourself if you don't have the energy to chant verbally?
Then chant mentally, but some or other chant. Once a devotee asked Prabhupada, before I come to the movement, I suffer from schizophrenia. And sometimes I have attack. What should I do? Prabhupada said, sit tight and chant loudly Hare Krishna until schizophrenia just an abrupt change of the mind. So you just sit tightly and chant very loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, until the effect passes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hare Krishna. All right. Thank you. Here is, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj,
Hare
thank you
Krishna.
for coming. Maharaj, I have a question. I don't know if it is a good question or a bad, but something I'm feeling, so I'm asking about
Please
that
do.
about you. We read the Prabhupada's book, we read Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and also meet the devotees, do the service and everything. But sometimes I feel that I'm not doing I don't feel the way I should feel in my heart. The love of Krishna, I feel like I'm not giving myself 100% to him, and I'm more attached to other things. So, what things I should do, Maharaj?
Okay, that's very good actually. What you're saying is a very good symptom of a sincere devotee. That once Srila Bhakti Siddhanta was approached by some disciples, and they told him, Guru Maharaj, we've been chanting for Harinam for 15 years, and we still don't feel no attachment to Krishna. We still have material attachment, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta said, "Oh, I'm relieved to hear that." Because if you came to me to tell me, "Oh, we have so much love and attachment to Krishna," I will be worried. Understand? So it means there is hope. If one doesn't have attachment, there is hope. One day we will get it. What do you have to do? Keep hearing and chanting. If you go to the doctor and he give you medicine, and you come back after 1 week, say, the medicine not making much effect, then he will tell you, how much you're taking? 1 pill per day. Take 2 per day from now. Increase the dose. So it's the same way. We are not feeling attachment. What we should do? Increase the chanting, increase the hearing, increase the reading, increase the association.
Chanting more or doing all that, sometimes I feel that I don't feel the taste of it.
That's welcome to the club. we all want to taste. That's why we're here. And how the taste will come? When our material attachment become diminished more and more, then the taste will come. That's how it works. We have to have higher taste, but to have the higher taste, we have to try to diminish our material attachment so we can develop the higher taste. We can't get both at the same time. That's the secret. Secret is to cry for it, to hanker for it. Understand? That's the price to pay. Laulyam, a great eagerness. Being spiritually greedy. Then maybe Krishna will feel some compassion and one day may give it to us. But until then, what we have to do? Hope against hope. There is one bird that only takes water from the rainy cloud. Doesn't take water from any other place. only from the cloud. What? Chataka is the name of the bird. Sometime the cloud instead of sending rain will send a thunderbolt on the bird. But the bird will not go to take water any other place. Understand? So in the same way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you may protect me, you may kill me, I am surrendered to you. So you want to give me taste, you don't want to give me taste, I will not stop chanting. I'm not going to stop chanting because I have no taste. It's up to you, Krishna, if you want to give me taste or not. I will keep trying my best. Just to please you. Just to please you. I'm not chanting just I feel good about it or have taste or enjoy it. No. It's about giving enjoyment to Krishna. And one day, if Krishna is pleased with my effort, he may give me a drop of taste. Maybe. One day. Hopefully. So we should not lose hope. It is possible. It's not cheap. That's what Krishna wants us to understand. It is not cheap. You have to desire it more intensely. You have to, make your effort from your heart, that I want Krishna. So maybe we still don't have that. What is lauliam? Greediness, spiritual greediness. I will explain to you. If you go outside, in India there are many sweet shops, and you like very much rasgullas, and you see in a shop very nice, sweet, round-shaped, soft rasgullas, and you want to taste them, but you have no money in your pocket. What you will do? Okay, I have no money, maybe other day. But if you are really greedy, you see, friend, borrow some money from a friend. Beg from people. I need to eat the rasgulla, please give me money. Or even steal it, somebody's pocket. I have to, whatever you have to do, you have to get your rasgulla no matter what. Then that's spiritual greed. That's lauliam, that's eagerness, Somehow or other I have to get it. But still we don't have that. That's why we don't have the taste. But we have to keep, never give up. Never give up. Is that okay? Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, I don't know Mataji's situation, but also gradually going toward bona fide spiritual master and getting mercy from spiritual master is such a great boon.
Yes, Prabhupada once a devotee asked him, Prabhupada, please give me your mercy. And Prabhupada said, I already gave you my mercy. Chant, read my books. I already gave you the mercy. Read my books. Meaning his mercy is in his books, in his teachings. And what are his teachings? Chant Hare Krishna. Once a devotee asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what is the thing that pleases you the most? Prabhupada looked at him and said, well, your desire to please me pleases me. But if you want to know what pleases me, chant Hare Krishna. Be happy. If we want people to chant Hare Krishna and we tell them chant and be happy, we must be happy ourselves first, so they can believe us we are saying the truth. If we chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, no, I have. We should, our duty as devotees to be happy practicing Krishna consciousness. Is it? Yes. Please give a mic to Dravida Prabhu.
He's got a question over there too.
Okay. You have a good service to go.
In 1976, I think it was, the Nectar of Instruction came out. nectar instruction, those 11 instructions from Rupa
Yes.
Goswami. And if you read it carefully, this question is answered, because it gives you, you approach a spiritual master who is self-controlled, and then how to relate to devotees, and then the obstacles. If these 6 things will block your taste, your
Yes.
advancement, and then there comes that verse about how the holy name, etc., is so sweet, but we don't taste it sweet because we have the disease of ignorance and conditioning. But if you chant nicely every day and follow the other instructions leading up to this, then you'll develop the taste. It's a science. That was like the essence of instruction.
Yes.
So that book will answer her question.
Definitely. Not only that, let me give you more philosophical explanation. The process of Krishna consciousness is a spiritual science. And there is step by step how to achieve that ruchi or taste. First step is Shraddha, one have faith. Enough faith to approach, to read the books, to try to take benefit, spiritual benefit. Now you start admiring what the books say. Okay, I want to know the people who are practicing this. So you start associating with devotee. That is called sadhu sangha. Shraddha, sadhu sangha, then bhajana kriya. Bhajana kriya means you start practicing. You start chanting Hare Krishna, you become vegetarian, etc. And then comes, bhajana kriya comes, anartha nivriti. Oh, there's unwanted things that I have to give up. Like intoxication, illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, etc. This is called anartha nivriti. Then when anartha nivriti is done, then come the next step. Next step is nishta, firm faith. Devotional service have 2 aspects. One is called anishtita bhakti, unstable devotional service, means up and down. One day I feel so nice chanting, oh great. Another day I feel like, oh, I don't want to chant, I want to go to the movies. It's up and down, up and down like that. That's called anishtita bhakti, unstable. But if one keep practicing and comes to the platform of overcoming the obstacles, which are the impediments, anarthas, the attachment, material attachment, then one gradually comes to the nishta, or firm conviction, firm faith. And from there, the taste will come. The ruchi will come, or taste. And there are 2 types of taste. One taste is weak and one taste is strong. In the weak state, when the weak taste, state of taste, unless the kirtan is very melodious done and the singing person is chant very sweetly, we don't feel taste. Only when it is very well done, we feel some taste. But when the taste is strong, even if somebody is chanting out of tune, the holy name, you still feel taste. So there are different gradation in the spiritual progress, We have to study all these things, are there. Rupa Goswami explains that, no? Tatva Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, etc. That's the process. And then from Nishta, Ruchi, then comes Asakti, or sometimes they call it Rati, Asakti or Rati. And then from Asakti comes Bhav, and from Bhav comes Prema, the highest goal of life, love of Godhead, pure love of Godhead. I see sometimes people say, I love so much God. But Lord Chaitanya was saying, I don't have even a pinch of love of God. Otherwise, if I have love for Krishna, how still I am breathing? How still I am taking care of my body? How is that possible? But I see you have tears in your eyes. That's just to show my good fortune. Understand? So a person who has real love of God, he think I have none. And the person who has none or very little say, oh, I have so much. So when you say that, I admire your honesty in saying that. There is hope then. There is hope. Some people sometimes say, I love God, but then why you disobey Him? How am I disobeying Him? Well, Bible says you should not kill, and you are killing the animals and eating them. Where is your love? Well, He said that in relation to humans, not to animals. Then He will have used the word, you should not murder. Killing is every kind of killing. And now there are new Bibles coming out say you should not murder. They changed the commandment. I've seen it. So, to love God means to love also His creature, His creation. We shall not damage the creation. Anyway, thank you so very much. Anybody last question is there?
We got two more
All right.
questions.
Let's go do it fast. It's a little late. For those who know Spanish or have friends who read Spanish, I have a small book written in Spanish with poems and stories and philosophy also. It's called Recordatorio para Momentos Difíciles, which means remembrance for tough time. It is already translated in English, and my dear friend Ravida Prabhu, he edited the poems, because translate the word poem translate to English. He's a poet, so he did very nice job on the poems. So next time, if Krishna allows me, when I come, I will bring the English version so you can have it too. Okay, please.
You know, in reference to, you're talking about the lack of advancement that we sometimes feel. And I do remember myself when I read the first book and it said chant and be happy, and I chanted and I wasn't happy. So I thought, well, how long does it take to start experiencing that happiness? And just a comment on that, something that's personally touched me was I'm currently just finished reading the biography of Prabhupada. And one night Prabhupada heard a knock at the door. And it was a devotee. And the devotee was very distraught and told Prabhupada, he says, I don't know what's wrong. He says, I keep chanting. And he said, I'm filled with so much anxiety. I have so many worries. I've got children. I've got the wife. He said, I have so many problems. He says, it's getting me down. And Prabhupada looked at him and says, now you know how I feel. And I thought that was quite an admission from a pure soul who was honest enough to say that perhaps we never totally get complete happiness and complete freedom from suffering while we're in this material world. And maybe it still helps to have a little bit of that suffering, because that's our line of attachment also to Krishna.
Yes, that's true. Thank you for your comment. Anthony, Bhakta Anthony, he met Prabhupada actually in New Vrindavan in 72, and he asked him question and everything. Very fortunate. I had the chance to have a conversation. It was very nice. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said, praying to Lord Krishna, my dear Lord Krishna, all the troubles and problems I have to undergo in your service are a source of great happiness to me. I mean, the troubles and the suffering becomes a source of happiness because you are doing it for the pleasing the Lord, for pleasing the Lord. Hmm? So that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. We don't look for happiness outside our service to the Lord, like the bird Chataka. Shatak. Wait only for the rain cloud. Sometime a thunderbolt will come, but he doesn't go anywhere else. So we should be like that. Mhm. Mhm. All right. Yes, Mataji has some question. Where is Jamal? Here.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
In context to Mataji's question, when you mentioned that you should chant in the mood of chanting that you are chanting for Krishna, to please Krishna, and when you said rati, asakti and bhava, and so what stage do we chant that we are chanting for Krishna? Sometime, at least I don't have that power yet or anything, then I chant for myself, oh, I feel good and that, but I don't think of chanting to please Krishna. Or would you talk about it, please?
What we should do to please Krishna while we are chanting. How to do that. You remind me of one question. One Russian girl, I was giving a lecture in Jai Shishirada Giridhari Ji Ki Jai. I was giving a lecture in Vrindavan, India, and one Russian girl, she asked me this question: why does Krishna like us to chant his name? Understand the question? I mean, why Krishna like us to chant his name? What is the reason? So I told her, when you chant the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna, first is Hare, Hare is Radharani. So when you say Hare, that is very pleasing to Krishna, because Radharani is the most beloved of Krishna. And when you say Krishna, that is very pleasing to Radharani, because Krishna is her dear most. So, you got the point? When Krishna was in this earth planet 5,000 years ago, he will get up early and meditate on himself, because he's everything. He's the absolute true himself. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. But doesn't mean we wake up to meditate on ourselves, because we are not everything. We are a tiny part of the Lord. So we should meditate on the Lord by chanting the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Meditating that by chanting the Maha Mantra, while pleasing both Krishna and Radha, because they are chanting each other's name that which is dear to them. That help? A little bit maybe. That help with the meditation. Okay, thank you very much. La Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari.